Hi, my name is Maureen Conrad, and I am a Reiki Master Teacher and trained in the traditional Dr. Usui method. I want to begin by letting you know that I am really so excited to see that you're showing interest in Reiki. Honestly, Reiki is an incredibly transformative tool, and in my 15 years of practice as a Reiki practitioner, I have found just for myself incredible life-changing events, and for those who I've worked with, I have seen the same thing over and over and over again with so many different individuals. In fact, when I teach Reiki, I often tell people that if you like your life just the way that it is, then you probably don't want to do Reiki, because you can expect that over time, as you continue to work with the energy, that your life just changes. And what I teach and help people to be able to experience is to allow this change and shift to be to come in a very easeful way, so that the transition doesn't have to be filled with many, many bumpy roads. And so I want to again congratulate you for taking this step to further investigate what Reiki has to offer for you. I'd like to give you a little bit of information again as to who it is that I am. Again, my name is Maureen Conrad. I'm a Reiki Master Teacher trained in the traditional Dr. Usui method. I am a member of the Reiki Alliance, and basically what the Reiki Alliance is it is an international organization which was founded by Phyllis Furumoto. Phyllis is the granddaughter of Mrs. Takata, and Mrs. Takata was the final Grand Reiki Master. Upon her passing, there were no other Grand Reiki Masters who were named, and so there was confusion, and many of the Reiki Masters got together and contacted Phyllis Furumoto and asked if she would head the Reiki Alliance, which is really set in place to verify the credentials of the Reiki Masters. And so for myself, in order to become a member, I went through a series of interviews, and they verified my teacher, my teacher's teacher, to make sure that all of us in my lineage were teaching the traditional Reiki. And my agreement is that I will continue and pass on both the information and the attunements in the traditional way as it has been done by Dr. Usui, then Dr. Hayashi, and Mrs. Takata, and so on. And so the Reiki Alliance, if there is anybody who is wanting to find out if anybody is a member of the traditional Reiki, then you can go online, ReikiAlliance.com, and you can go right through there and find many of the names of folks who are listed as traditional teachers. For myself, in the year 2000, I founded then the Global Reiki Institute. And here at the Institute, all levels of Reiki are taught. I teach 1 to Reiki 3 or Advanced Reiki and the Reiki Master. And the main difference between the Reiki Master and the Advanced Reiki is that the Reiki Master is really for people who are interested in teaching. There is a huge time and financial commitment with this. The apprenticeship will go over or at least a year, and the individual actually is learning to teach as they're also stepping their energy up to that level of the Master. For people who are interested in the Advanced Reiki or the Reiki 3, that is really available for people who are not interested in teaching, and yet they're ready to step up to the Reiki Master level. They are, at this point, going to receive the tools that the Reiki Master has, and yet they're not going to be taught how to teach. So all levels here are taught, and also, in addition, I have available for anybody who is interested in receiving a professional treatment, then one-on-one treatments are provided as well. In addition to my Reiki experience, I am also an angel therapy practitioner. I was certified by Doreen Virtue. I am a spiritual counselor with my training as an analytical hypnotherapist. And I am also a retired registered nurse. I have more than 20 years experience in trauma and cardiac intensive care units. I have a bachelor's in nursing science, and I also have my CCM, which is a certified case manager. Although I'm not doing the traditional nursing at this point and haven't for some years, I have found that when I'm working with folks, I really appreciate having that medical background. When working with people, it just gives a really strong foundation. Both myself and my clients have found that it's really helpful to be able to give some of the practical medical information as well. So what is Reiki? Reiki is an ancient healing technique that was rediscovered by Dr. Usui in Kyoto, Japan around the 1800s. Upon Dr. Usui's passing, he passed on the information to Dr. Hayashi, and then upon Dr. Hayashi's passing, he named Mrs. Takata the next Grand Reiki Master, and she continued to carry the information of Reiki, this ancient healing technique. Around in the 1980s, Mrs. Takata came to the United States where she introduced this system to us. And here she trained 22 Reiki masters. Upon her passing, there were no new Grand Reiki masters who were named. And again, as stated earlier, this is where the Reiki masters who were trained brought in Phyllis Furumoto, who was Mrs. Takata's granddaughter, to create this organization where the verification process could continue on. So what does Reiki do? Basically, as Reiki is introduced into the system, it balances and aligns our energetic bodies. It balances our chakras. And when we're in that place of balance, then we begin to experience things like alleviation of stress. And so if you have a lot of anxiety or stress in your life after receiving a treatment, then Reiki really can move through the system, bring about this balance, and stress no longer is an issue. The same goes with anybody who is experiencing pain, or if you're wanting to come in and you have a lot of challenges in your life at the time and you want to just be able to clear out all of the energies, the denser, heavier energies out of your system to allow you to get back into this place of balance, then Reiki is an excellent tool to be able to do this. Now, Reiki can be introduced into the system in two different ways. One is that if there is a Reiki practitioner and you go to them and you receive a Reiki treatment, they are trained to know how to work with another individual to be able to bring the system into balance. The other way is if you are interested in becoming a Reiki student. There is a process where attunements in the first level, actually 4 attunements are done, and as that process is complete, then what it does is it prepares the system, the body, the practitioner, to be able to hold this high vibrational energy of its own accord, and you no longer have to go to somebody outside of yourself, and yet instead you're connected to this energy, and you can be giving yourself a treatment and other people treatments. When you're receiving the treatment from somebody else, there's no manipulation of the tissue, as you would expect in a massage. There's actually more of a gentle line of hands in very specific areas in the body where the practitioner, again, is looking at the system, introducing and bringing this energy into their body and reestablishing flow. Places where if we have energetic blockages that the practitioner can go in and work through to reestablish flow in those blockages. Often a nice way to be able to think of this is if you think of Drano. If you had a clog in your pipe and you wanted to put Drano into the pipe to reestablish flow, Reiki is very similar to Drano in the sense that once you introduce the Drano, or in this case Reiki, into the system, then it reestablishes flow and the clog is completely gone. The really good thing about this is that with Reiki, it doesn't blow our pipes apart. So it is a very safe system, just like Drano doesn't clear the clog by blowing up the pipe. So it is a very gentle, easeful energy that is very, very safe to be able to work with. In conclusion, the best way to learn about Reiki is to have an actual experience. And so I invite you to call to make an appointment. You can receive a one-on-one private session with me. And also, if you have any further questions about the class schedule, you can also call and ask me about this. I am located in north central Phoenix off of Cactus, or just a little bit north between Cactus and Sweetwater and Cave Creek Road. My contact information is 480-443-1917, and also I have a contact number of 602-509-7725. I look forward to hearing from you, and again, congratulations as you want to look further into this incredible healing modality.